Hey guys, welcome to Joe Knows. Thankful that you're here, tuning in, and we are in our little study on parenting for a lifetime. And I'm in my backyard here, and I'm standing behind me is a greenhouse. It was here when we bought the house, and I haven't really figured out how to use it yet, but I do know this about greenhouses. Greenhouses are places that you place small plants until they're ready to go out into the world and live on their own. So when they're little seedlings, they start to grow. They need protection from the elements and from different things. So the greenhouse creates an environment where they can flourish, and then they can go out and live on their own. And that really is what it is all about with children. The years that we have our kids, it's like having them in a greenhouse in our homes and under our leadership. We have them there for a time, but the goal is not that they stay in the greenhouse, but that they come and they find a place to be planted and to grow. And so we're talking about teenagers and being there for our kids and being a Hall of Fame parent. When they're teenagers, it's challenging, but this morning, this is, I think, my third time I'm talking about teenagers. Maybe it's because I was a youth pastor and spent so many years, 17 years working with students, or maybe better yet, it's because those are the years that your efforts are so necessary and needed. Unfortunately, those are the years that many of us, we'd say, teenagers, oh my gosh, it's so hard, it's so difficult, and yet it's so important. So it's like when you're in the Super Bowl. Let me tell you something. You get ready for a Super Bowl game, you're playing against the best. And you got to give your best game. And in teenage years, you got to give your best. So let me tell you how to do that. The first thing, I'm going to give you four tips on as we continue talking about how to be a Hall of Fame parent to our teenagers. Number one, let go. You say, Joe, wait a second. You said I have to be in the game. I got to do my best. I know, but you're in a process of letting go. If you're a helicopter mom or dad, please, you want to start that early. Listen, you only do for your kids what they can't do for themselves. So you need to prepare yourself to let go. And if you're saying things like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, my kids are growing up, where's the time going? I need to try. If in your mind is trying to keep them in the greenhouse as long as you can, you're not going to be a Hall of Fame parent because you're going to stagnate their growth. So you have to have the mindset of letting go, but not all at one time. It's a process. So be willing to let go and recognize that they're real live people created by God with a free will, and you need to be having a process of your letting go. Number two, choose your battles when your kids are teenagers. Okay, choose them. Now, you have to decide what's important to you. I'll tell you how I handled this. Okay, when my kids were growing up, everyone was dyeing their hair. I was highlighting my hair. Okay, and so I had a rule. I said, okay, here's the deal. While you're in the house, you can do. They could do anything with their hair. It could be as long or as short. I did not care. But as far as the coloring of the hair, I said you can do anything with color as long as you could have been born with that color. Now, I think if I was parenting today, I kind of like the blue and the neon red hairs. I wouldn't mind it, and the green. But at that time, different place. But I let them have their hair as long or as short as they want because I was choosing my battles. Okay. There were other things that I did. Okay. Body piercing. Okay. I said, hey, girls and guys, you can pierce your ears. Okay, I let my kids pierce their ears when they were young, and they all did. But I also said the other body piercing, you wait till you're 18. Or actually, no, excuse me, I'm forgetting. You see, because the things don't matter. It's just that you choose. It was actually 16 for body piercing, okay? And it was 18 for tattoos, okay? And again, it's not important what it was, but you don't want to make everything a big deal. And I was trying to build into their lives the ability for them to choose because I recognized that I needed to let go. So, and there were other things that we did. Hey, in my house, Sunday morning, you live in my house, we go to church on Sunday morning, everything else is your choice. Okay? So I was choosing my battles. I was battling the make your bed thing with my kids, and they weren't going to make their beds. So I had to regroup, and I decided, listen, if you don't want to make your bed, don't make your bed, but you better close your door. Okay? Because I just didn't want to see it. But you're deciding what's most important in their development. Okay? And I always try to build responsibility into what they do. Third, so we're talking about let go, choose your battles. Number 3, teach your children the value of hard work. Okay, this is one of those things, and you're going to do it different ways. I'm a landscaper. I like landscaping. I love going out, working hard, sweating, being, just covered with, all of the elements of grass and dirt and everything else. I love that. I took my boys with me to do that, and they did it. They made some money doing it, but they quickly learned that that kind of hard work was not for them. Okay? But they saw a father that worked hard, and I didn't give them things. I allowed them to work for things. I built in responsibility to the things they did. I taught them to work hard. None of them are into landscaping at all. Well, my son likes it, but he doesn't like the hard stuff. He likes the planting, the flowers, and the different things. But they're all hard workers because they saw their father was a hard worker, and I didn't give them things. I allowed them to work for things. And I want to tell you this. Hard work is biblical. God wants us to work hard. He made that. Listen, when you work hard, okay, food tastes better. You sleep better. When you don't have stuff to do, you eat the food, but it doesn't taste as good. You go to sleep, but you toss and turn. And hard work is part of fulfilling your calling in life. It just depends on how. So my son, Jojo, is the producer, and he'll work sometimes 18 or 20 hours a day for 3 days producing music. Okay? And then he takes off 3 days because he knows he needs to be rejuvenated. And my older son, Chris, he runs 3 businesses. 2 of them are his own. And one he works for someone. He's the COO of a company. And he loves hard work, but they had to learn that. If I was handing things to them all along, then they wouldn't have learned the wonder of hard work and the great feeling of accomplishment when you do things. So you want to figure out, now you got to learn about them. My daughter is an extremely hard worker, but she's also an extremely hard player. So she likes to play. She wants a job that gives her the ability to play hard. So again, it's not really just being a workaholic. It has to do with doing your best at whatever you find yourself doing, whether it's work, whether it's play, whether it's parenting, whether it's being a great spouse. And you want to teach them that when you give yourself fully to things, kids don't learn that. They're taught that. And I want you to really work at that. The last thing I want to talk to you about is something that I am astonished at how little is done, because I work with a lot of young men and I do a lot of life coaching. And in the life coaching, I help them to work on finances. And I am shocked at how little people growing up know about managing their money. They don't know how. They don't understand the checking system. And I know we don't use checks a lot now, but the banking system. They don't understand how to effectively use a credit card, not fall into debt, okay? But use MasterCard's money, and they pay you in dollars or airline points or whatever it is that you want to use their money if you're disciplined and know how to budget. The idea of budgeting, young people don't learn to budget. They don't really know how to budget, and they don't understand what a mortgage is, that a mortgage is made up of, and they shouldn't, because no one ever told them that a mortgage is made up of a principal and interest payment, and then an escrow, which covers their taxes and the homeowner's insurance. And they don't know how to work the financial system in which they live in so they can be successful. And I want to tell you that you want to be, I don't really want to refer to everything I did. I just want to encourage you. By the way, that blower you hear and the mower, that's James Marshall from our church. He happens to cut my neighbor's yard, and he knows I'm filming, but he has no problem interrupting. And you know what? James Marshall and his wife Lori are hard workers. They're out there cutting grass. It's about to rain. It's been raining. And there they are. They have a landscaping business. And maybe it's all supposed to be a part of this. But I want to teach them about the value of hard work and managing their money and how to tell their money where to go. You say, well, I don't budget and, we this and that. Listen, there are things, if you don't do those things, great, but open their eyes to ways they can. Dave Ramsey does a tremendous job on an entry level and teaching people the laws of money and managing money, and I want to encourage you to do that. So I'm talking to you about 4 things that you're going to teach them over the years, okay, while they're in your greenhouse. So it's like the training where if you're a football coach, you're teaching people, how to catch the ball, how to block, how to make a tackle, the different aspects. And here's the 4 things I'm telling you today. You, first of all, need to let go and realize you're the coach. Don't get on the playing field. You prepare your child for the playing field of life. So you have to let go. At some point, they go on the field and they're there and they're on their own. Let go. Number 2, you choose your battles. Don't battle over things that don't really matter, when they're teenagers especially. Teach them hard work and teach them how to manage money, and you will be on the road to being a Hall of Fame parent of your teenager and teaching them to be a Hall of Fame person in life. I hope this is helpful. Next week, we're going to talk about them choosing a life mate and finding a career. Those are very important things, and I hope you'll join us. God bless you. Have a great week. And thank you, James, for the background music. See ya.